This is the Koyu Boxing Channel. Two eras, one legend, the George Foreman fight legacy. His life isn't just a story of boxing. It's a story of strength, of faith, of setbacks, and of glory. He started on the streets of Texas with no money, no future, but with fire in his heart. As a young man, he was a force of nature, Olympic gold, world champion. Knockouts that echoed through history. Then came the silence, a break, a loss, a long journey to rediscover who he really was. And when the world had moved on, he returned. At 45 years old, against every odd. Not just to fight, but to win. This is not just a boxer. This is a man of unshakable spirit. This is George Foreman. A fight against Don Waldhelm, June 23, 1969. Foreman's pro debut. He overwhelmed Waldhelm with raw power and aggression, ending the fight by technical knockout in round 3. It wasn't for a title, but it was a loud entrance. The future champ showed he meant business from day one. On December 6, 1969, George Foreman fought Bob Hazelton in his second professional fight at the International Hotel in Las Vegas. Foreman showcased his raw power, dominating Hazelton from the start. In the first round, Foreman landed a series of heavy punches, knocking Hazelton out cold with a brutal right hand, securing a KO victory in just under 2 minutes. On January 26, 1970, George Foreman fought Jack O'Halloran in his third professional bout at Madison Square Garden. Foreman dominated with his powerful punches, knocking O'Halloran down multiple times. The fight ended in the 5th round when Foreman delivered a devastating right hook, securing a knockout victory and showcasing his early potential as a future heavyweight champion. August 4th, 1970. Foreman faced the famously tough Chuvalo. It was a big step up. Chuvalo had never been knocked down. Foreman battered him with relentless power and combinations, forcing a TKO in round 3. It was a statement win, proving Foreman could stop even iron-chinned opponents. November 18th, 1970, a fight against Boone Kirkman. Kirkman was a rising contender, but Foreman crushed him. From the opening bell, Foreman controlled the action with heavy shots. He dropped Kirkman twice and forced a stoppage in round 2. A dominant win that pushed Foreman closer to world title contention. Total destruction. On April 10, 1972, George Foreman faced Terry Gullick at the Inglewood Forum in California. Foreman, already a rising star, overpowered the British heavyweight with his signature aggression. In the second round, Foreman landed a devastating combination, knocking Gullick down. Unable to recover, Gullick was counted out, giving Foreman a KO victory in a swift and dominant performance. On May 11, 1972, George Foreman battled Miguel Angel Paez at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum Arena. Foreman, a towering force, unleashed a merciless beatdown on Paez from the opening bell. His relentless jabs and thunderous hooks overwhelmed the Panamanian, who struggled to defend himself. In the second round, Foreman's brutal onslaught intensified, landing a crushing right that sent Paez to the canvas. Paez, battered and unable to continue, stayed down as Foreman's power proved unstoppable. The referee halted the fight, granting Foreman a TKO victory in a display of sheer dominance and raw destructive force. January 22, 1973, Kingston, Jamaica. George Foreman versus Joe Frazier. In a thunderous clash for the WBA and WBC heavyweight titles, George Foreman faced the undefeated Joe Frazier. From the opening bell, Foreman imposed his brute force, walking down the champion and detonating uppercuts like bombs. Frazier hit the canvas 6 times in less than 2 rounds. In a jaw-dropping upset, Foreman demolished Frazier and announced himself as the new king of the heavyweight division. September 1st, 1973. After winning the heavyweight title from Joe Frazier, George Foreman faced Jose Roman in his first title defense. The fight took place in Tokyo, Japan. Foreman wasted no time asserting his dominance, knocking Roman down 3 times in the first round. The bout was stopped in just 2 minutes and 10 seconds, showcasing Foreman's terrifying power. It was a statement performance, proving he was not just a champion, but a force to be feared. March 26, 1974. In his second title defense, George Foreman took on Ken Norton in Caracas, Venezuela. Norton was a strong, tactical fighter who had previously broken Muhammad Ali's jaw, but Foreman was unstoppable. Using his trademark aggression and punching power, Foreman overwhelmed Norton early. By the second round, Foreman had Norton on the ropes and knocked him down 3 times before the referee stopped the fight. It was another dominant display that solidified Foreman's reputation as an unstoppable heavyweight monster. October 30th, 1974. Foreman versus Muhammad Ali. The Rumble in the Jungle. Held in Kinshasa, Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo. This was one of the most iconic fights in boxing history. Foreman, undefeated and known for destroying opponents early, was regarded as the absolute favorite. Ali, considered past his prime, shocked the world by introducing the rope-a-dope strategy, leaning on the ropes, letting Foreman tire himself out by throwing heavy punches that missed or were absorbed. By the 8th round, a fatigued Foreman threw a wide right, and Ali countered with a sharp combination. Foreman hit the canvas for the first time in his career and couldn't beat the count. Ali won by KO in round 8, reclaiming the heavyweight title. It was one of the greatest upsets in boxing and a defining moment in both fighters' legacies.
Once there was a battle there in Zaire, 100,000 people there in Zaire, all those people gathered there in Zaire, to see the rumble in the jungle there in Zaire.
Follow for more boxing content.